Good morning, Sarah here. How you all doing? Another nice sunny day-ish. I just wanted to share with you my experience of working with plant spirits, mugwort, wormwood, and elderflower, elder generally. After making the tincture, the essences that I made yesterday and the day before. I drank some of the infused moon water, the plant spirit moon water yesterday, and I had quite an interesting night of dreams and revelations, and it was surrounding something that happened yesterday, a conversation that happened yesterday that kind of triggered me a little bit, brought up some old wounds that I just couldn't understand why I was reacting within myself, not verbally to anybody else, but within myself. Something was definitely triggered by a conversation that I had with me feeling as if I was out of the party, out of the loop. And, without going into any detail, it seemed to me that although, I had already stepped away from the situation, it was still somehow triggering that inner child in me that was feeling left out or feeling that nobody loved me or... And I had to sit with that for a long time, and it was really bugging me all evening. I was just feeling, why am I reacting like this when I thought, I thought I'd healed all this stuff. But, like an onion, you take off a layer and there's still another layer underneath. So, so I woke up in the middle of the night at about 2:30 a.m, having had a very vivid dream. And it seemed to me in this sort of semi-wakefulness that the plant spirits came to speak to me. They came into my my knowing, my being, if you like, without no image of them particularly. It's just their presence was very much felt, and what I kind of gleaned from that was that Elder was doing her job of killing something, an old belief, an old relationship, an old way of thinking, an old belief, so that I might move on, having let that go. And then Wormwood, who I consider to be a very divine masculine energy, kind of like Merlin. He's a bit of a sorcerer, Wormwood, but very strong, very protective. And Wormwood was creating this barrier around me, creating this energy barrier around me so that I could leave and not worry what was behind me and be able to move forward. And where Lady Mugwort had opened the door to this, through this liminal space, into a new way of being. and it was very, very profound. I mean, I was awake for ages, just kind of half awake, half asleep, not really thinking, but these beings were really speaking to me in the night about this situation that was not a situation. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't, the conversation wasn't heavy. There was nothing wrong with it. From the outside, there was nothing wrong with it, but it clearly set something off within me that needed attention. And these plant spirits were there to just show me that, which was just amazing. I was so inspired by that, really. And Anyway, when I woke up this morning, it was still very much in my head and thinking how amazing it is that these plant spirits have their ways of speaking to you and ways of showing you where perhaps you're tripping up on, old beliefs, old patterns of behavior and what have you. And they were very clear in what they were saying to me. And so I was mulling that over this morning and thinking, yeah, gosh, that was very fortuitous. Just so happened that I'd been making these essences, that I'd been drinking the essence moon water, and then this conversation came up in the afternoon, which created a situation for me to look at. And I do think, the sky is telling us stories at the moment of what's going on. As I keep saying, I'm not an astrologer, but I do follow the astrology because I think it's incredibly powerful to look at what the stories are, what the planets are telling us. And we have been going through this kind of transformation. The energy of this year has been pretty intense. And June and July particularly are times where there's going to be massive shifts. And I think the Earth is having her own shift. It's all being shaken up, and she is letting go of the old system, and we can see this breaking down in so many ways across the planet to expose the core truth, and that ripples up into us. So her vibrations are rippling up through our bodies and creating this kind of vibration within us that is breaking open things for us to look at, and that was particularly relevant for me yesterday. So it's this triggering activity is releasing all that baggage that we might have been holding on to, that perhaps we thought we had dealt with in the past, because we've done a lot of shadow work, or me in particular. But as I say, there's layer upon layer, and each time it comes up, it sloughs off another layer. And there will come a point where these ups and downs of energy will kind of plateau out, and we'll be able to move forward into a new earth, a new human, and I think this is what the plant spirits were showing me last night, that, Wormwood was definitely standing behind me saying, okay, I'm setting up this protection behind you so that you can move forward without any of that stuff coming with you. Meanwhile, Elder was killing off all that stuff that, had been swirling around in me, and maybe the separation of the situation that I was talking about, maybe that is, she was killing that off so that I can say, okay, enough, I'm just going to move forward with this. I don't need to be held by something that I have been holding on to. I'm not wanting to let it go, not wanting to let go of people, situations that from the past that really don't hold a lot of, I was going to say value, but I don't mean value. I don't hold a lot of energy for where I am right now. Anyway, so Elder is cutting that stuff off. There she is. Behind Wormwood, battling out all the stuff behind me, and Mugwort in front of me, opening that wonderful door into that liminal space that I can move through into. And as the Earth is bringing up all this new energy, all this new vibration, so I can walk through there into a new way of being, until I hit another onion skin, layer. So these pulses that are coming from the Earth, I think this is what started all this, is that these pulses are coming up from the Earth to activate and break up these old energies that we might have been holding on to without actually realizing we were holding on to them. Whether it's a job, a friendship, a relationship, a house, a country, it's all coming up to be broken up so that we can move forward and have new experiences. So I kind of just wanted to share what I was thinking last night in the middle of the night, and how, well, not even thinking, how I was experiencing these plant spirits, and how incredible they are, that they come when you're least expecting it, that you might expect kind of an amazing revelation that a plant spirit is talking to you, or what have you, but they are incredibly subtle in the way that they move through you, and it's your job to kind of piece together the information that you're being given. So I'll be sitting with that today, but I do feel as if I've stepped through that opening, and I'm now onto a plateau, if you like, having left all that stuff that was troubling me. It was stupid, childish stuff, inner child wounds that had come up. But I'm now, I can see them, and I can let that go. And so, I'm now ready to experience a bit of a plateau until the earth does another shaking, and she brings up something else. So I'll leave that with you for now. Have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you very soon. And please subscribe and like and comment. I noticed that, the views that I have, I'm not getting any likes. So maybe you don't like what I'm saying. If you don't like what I'm saying, please say in the box below what you don't like. If you're enjoying my ramblings, my intermittent ramblings, please leave a comment and give me a thumbs up. Okay, bye for now.